Hello, hello, good evening. This is Nemi Batstone here with Nemi's Crafty Cafe. And we are live today in sunny Cooks Creek, Manitoba, just 20 minutes northeast of Winnipeg. And the sun is shining still, but who knows how quick that'll fade away. But it is St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day. So I went through my closet and I realized I don't have a lot of green. And I wasn't going to dig through the kids' tickle trunk, but this is all I could find. But I am also wearing my green socks. I can't lift my leg up. But one of my team members, Barb McLeod, gifted me these cute little sockies with gnomes on them for St. Patty's Day. So I've been wearing them today, and honestly, I just changed into this shirt just now. So thank you for joining me this evening. Or in other cases, if you are busy, thank you for catching the replay. So don't forget to comment that you replayed, and do share my video because it's really all about sharing. And do comment. I'm running a little quick Lucky Day surprise. So it's only going to run for 48 hours. So for today, Sunday, and then Monday, I will draw for anybody that comments and shares my video on your social media or whichever. And will be entered into a draw to receive my little latte. I don't know why I'm going all tongue-tied. Little latte class that is coming up. I'm sure you've seen many pictures of it. I don't want to show you the projects because then it just gives it away, but maybe I should. Anyway, I am busy cutting them up for next week, so not next week, but to get them advertising and get going. But I'm hoping to do some Zoom classes for April. I am just waiting for our soccer schedule to come out. My kids' soccer indoor/outdoor schedule is starting April 1st, but I think, well, the season's supposed to start April 1st, but I think our first game is like closer to the end of April. But I can't book anything until I know what our schedule looks like. Hi, Kathy. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We had wonton soup today. We had leftovers all day today because our fridge is so full of containers. So I made wonton soup with tons of greens in it, and ginger and garlic. And noodles, so the kids were happy with that. And then we have chocolate mints, those little peppermints. So we had those for dessert. And one kid's gone to soccer and the other one's gone to play video games. And here I am crafting in the peacefulness of my home. So if you can hear me, do say hello so that I know my earbuds are working. But today I posted a couple cards using the ice cream swirl bundle. And I wanted to share those with you because, gotta go get my tray. Because that is what my upcoming club card is, or club cards are for this month. So each month I have a stamp club. I should really change the name because they're not always cards. Sometimes they're other things. They are 3D projects or a bonus scrapbook page. So it's not really always cards. They used to be always cards, but I've been changing it up a bit. So maybe I should change the name from Card Club to maybe Stamp Club, or if you've got something groovy to as a cool title, then please do share. And then every 6 months, if you do six of my clubs, my card club / stamp club, then I give you a gift. So, you know, your choice of ink or a surprise gift for me. So anyway, and usually my surprise gift really, it's not really a surprise, it's more like a gift you get to choose from. So, because I just give you credits. So anyway, I'm babbling. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to flip you because that's just more entertaining than having you stare at me. So I'm just going to make sure everything is working just fine first. If I can find my Facebook page, because it was here just 2 seconds ago. And now I've lost it because I have 50 million tabs open right now. And I'm just, you know, doing so much. I was like writing tutorials and then trying to figure out what days I can work my jobby next week and next month, and then spring break is coming up, so it's gonna be busy. Okay, I see myself, and I'm gonna just make sure this is working properly. And I do, and I can see comments, so that's fantastic. So I'm gonna flip you, and then we'll get started. Um, there we go. Dun, 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 dun. So this month's host code is right there, 7F378WHA. And last week I shared a free tutorial that has 12 card designs from the Memories and More. So if you don't have Memories and More, but something similar, pocket pages or 3x4s or whichever, that's all you really need. So if you have that, then you're good to go. I feel like I'm a little too close, but then at the same time, too far. So it's, trying to find that middle ground. And if you've been following a lot of your favorite demonstrators, besides myself, the ones that are amazing and at on stage right now, they've been posting a lot of the sneak peeks for the upcoming annual catalog. So if you haven't are curious, then definitely that's something you want to look at. Also, if you are a demonstrator, just a reminder that you get access to the digital version. What's the date? Oh yeah, tomorrow, the 18th. Is the 18th tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. It should be, yeah. Okay, so I posted this card. It was so cute. I wanted to make a donut box, and so that's what this card was. I just want to share it again because the picture doesn't always do it justice, but we have a ton of online exclusives. So Stampin' Up! Every quarter has been releasing a lot of new products that are now only available on our websites. They are not available in the catalogs, and they are growing and they are getting better and better each time. So Radiant Stitches was in the annual catalog and is now in the online exclusive. So that is one of them. And then I paired it with the ice cream swirl bundle because the ice cream swirl bundle, believe it or not, has donuts, ice cream, and strawberries and cherries in it. So there is tons of good stuff you can make with that. And it doesn't always have to be ice cream. So that's what I wanted to showcase here was that you can make a box of donuts. So we got a chocolate glaze, we got a honey curler, we got one with sprinkles, we have the Boston chocolate Boston cream one, like where it's got the filling in the middle, but it's also chocolatey, and then a plain chocolate donut, and then I can't remember what I was making out of that one. I think I was trying to do a glaze, just a plain glazed vanilla donut. And then if you're part of my stamp club this month, then you will get these are the 4 cards that you will get to make. You'll also get half a pack of ribbon, half a pack of gems, which I didn't put on here yet, and a quarter pack of the designer series paper. So you get tons left over. I always like to do at least one fun fold and then some bright ones. And then this one has a gift card holder. So if you are interested, I do still have I think 3 packs left. So if you would like a pack, you can, and you can just create whenever you want. You do it whenever is convenient because you get a tutorial, a video, and an online Zoom class with me. So if you miss the in person, then you can always get the recorded version, and you'll always have the videos to boot. So these are the other 2 designs. So it's using the same paper. So if you do get the Card Club kit, you not only have the donut example, a box of donuts, but then you also have these 2 as well. But I wanted to focus on a couple techniques. So on this one here, I forgot my water. I used blending brushes, and on this one here, I used the Dauber. But I also wanted to show you how you can use your water paint colors on here. So we're going to do that. And obviously we're focused on green. So we're making mint chocolate ice creams today. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. So I hope you like my techniques and I hope you try them yourself. They are easy, but just a quick reminder. Now I do realize I am missing some water. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of water. Now I do use my painter brushes because the water brushes, is that?
water paint brushes. Does that make sense? They do have a barrel where you can insert your water into, like so, like this. But I find that it's also a lot easier to just dip in water. So you can do that as well. And then you could also use your blending brushes to create some different textures so onto the paper. And then as well, you can use daubers. So these are fancy daubers. They're not fancy daubers, but I do like to have one for each color as much as I can. And then I just use little labels to label each one. This one obviously holds 8 times 540 in here. And then I do obviously have run out of space because there's one for each. And it's easy for me to carry when I'm gone to crops and things like that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let's get started. So we will use Brighton baubles, or we can use a different designer series paper. But right now, I'm just gonna grab some soft sea foam, cause is that what I use? So yeah, so we can use any kind of color we want, any of the greens. I should ask you which greens we should use. But we can, there's so many in our catalog. So many. But I think I'll use soft seafoam and then just because it's a lighter green, and then we can go darker as we move through. And this one has a soft seafoam over top. And um, I wasn't sure if I liked the die cut on it or not, or if I like without. So if you are watching live, please do let me know whether you would prefer the die cut or without. Anyway, let's get started. So this is a big sheet of cardstock. So it is a full one. So what I like to do sometimes is I just like to take this and my paper trimmer and I will cut this into half. And now I'll have one half that I can use as a card base, and then the other two pieces that I can play with. So now if I don't want to use them, then I automatically have two card fronts ready to go. But we're going to use both. Oh, and I cut those wrong. I wasn't paying attention and I cut them wrong. Okay, but that's okay because we need it. So I like to take my paintbrush, and this is how we're going to make chocolate mint ice cream. And I'm going to take soft seafoam with soft seafoam. And you can either put ink inside or you could take a block like so and add ink to it. Now this is super light, so maybe I should have did it in the lid so you could see. But now I'm just gonna take my paint, my water, dip it in, and I'm using the wide brush of the three that we carry. So when you buy our water painters, they do come in threes. And this is the wider one. So I'm just adding water to my block here. And I'm just gonna swoosh away here and just randomly add it wherever I want. Now, there's no right or wrong. This is just adding extra depth and color. So you'll see, I should bring this down. Oh, I just realized this is giving me a shadow. So you'll see that it is not only wet, but it also is getting a little darker in some spots. So we could take more ink and go darker where we want. So you get transition. There you go, like so. Now, it doesn't have to be pretty because we are changing this up. And I had a paper towel sitting here waiting. Oh, there it is. So to clean these brushes, all you need to do is just get it wet, and as long as it's clear on your paper towel, then you know it is now dry. Now, we could say, I want a little more color in there, and we can grab some lemon lime twist, which has a little bit of yellow and green. And here, I'll show you how to do this in the lid. So, ooh, fresh lid with no mess. So we're just going to squeeze that together, see? And then you get a bunch of ink there. Then we're going to add some water to it. And it gets that color going. And then you can add a few streak lines. It's okay if it pools, because when it dries, it'll be fine. And maybe a couple. Now, I've obviously, this is darker, so it's gone over completely my mint macaron. Or, sorry, my soft seafoam. Oh, mint macaron. Whew, that's a color I haven't seen in a while. Okay, the tired color. And did you hear? Pretty in Pink has come back. Like, who would have thought? That color is a very old color, and it now has come back. And then we have this new shamrock kind of looking color, so that's kind of cool too. So you could just dab it to dry it real quickly, but you could also use your heat tool to also dry that. And I'm just gonna grab the dye for it and make sure I'm in a good spot. Okay, so if I go there, okay, so I'm gonna flip it. Now, let's say we want to use our blending brush. Oops, I just dropped it in the garbage. So we can take a shade darker or lighter, whichever we want, and we can add some ink there, and we can literally use our blending brush to add a little bit of depth to our paper. And it doesn't have to be, again, perfect. It can be splotchy like that. And now you have two pieces of paper where one side is now just used with ink and the other side used with water. Now our cardstock, by the way, is like 65 pounds. So that's the right measurement, unit of measure, I should say. So it is very thick. So you don't need a fancy watercolor paper. Now, if you drench it, you're gonna definitely need some watercolor paper. But in this case, because we are our paper, our cardstock, our colored cardstock is so thick, you're usually pretty good at being able to just add water to it as is. Now it feels dry. I don't see any on my hand, so that's a bonus. So now we're just gonna go in with our paintbrush, and then we're or sorry, our ink, our stamp, and then we're also going to add some splatter with some early espresso to get our um, chocolate in there. Okay, so there we go. So I like to do tone on tone a lot. So I'm just going to take soft sea foam and ink this guy up. So a lot of people were like a little eerie, like at least on my team when we talked about it, when the new catalog came out, about this ink or this stamp set and going, oh, that ice cream is really big. And you know what? It is. I'm not going to deny that. It is pretty big. But it's not as big once you start playing with it. And the coloring and the techniques that you can do with it, because you have so much of those swirls, that's what makes it fun. And I think that's what people are missing and don't see when they don't have this stamp set. So that's why I'm just showing you a couple techniques now. So you can see here on this one how it's got those spots, but it actually looks pretty cool. And here we've got some water on there to give it a little more texture rather than just going plain cardstock. So, and just using it. Now, I also did that one here on the cherry or on the red. So I made strawberry ice cream with this one. And I started off with a base of, I think it was petal pink. And then by the time I added my coloring in there, it just, looks like strawberry ice cream. Maybe can't tell that well on the video. Okay, now I see a spot here where I'd like a little more ink. So I'm just going to take this. We'll go with lemon lime because it's a little darker. And I'm going to take my fine brush. So this is the fine tip one that comes in this set of 3 watercolored markers or painters. And I'm just going to go in and spread this through where I want it. So then it gives it a little more oomph, right? Probably a little too much water because we got quite a bit there already. And maybe I'll add some more up here. Doesn't have to be perfect because it is ice cream. Ice cream that is, you know, melting on your cone, yummy and delicious. And you'll see it's pretty dark, but then when it lightens, when it dries, I should say, as it dries, it gets lighter. And here I just added more water to pull that color away from the edge. There we go, like that. And it'll it'll spread and dry. Okay, while we let that dry, we're going to use the same brush and we are going to add some splatter. And we're going to splatter with early espresso. Now, because we know we want that chocolate. So this is where you'd like to, make sure everything around you um, is not going to get splattered because you will get splatter everywhere. I'm not too concerned, but sometimes I like to do this in a box or on the floor where I can just quickly mop it up because splattering here on your surface sometimes makes a bigger mess than you think. So I'm just tapping, and you can put as much splatter as you like. It's really up to you. And the closer you go or the more wet your brush is, the bigger your dots get. So, so I even have a couple, you know, um, oh, it didn't work. It's too wet. I was gonna say I got a couple smeared chip, yeah, that's it, chocolate chips, because that does happen. So that's okay though. So we're just gonna clean that brush, and I'm okay with that, like so, and close that up. There we go. So we're gonna let that dry a bit, or you could take your paper towel, and again, just blot it gently and let that dry. Or you could take your heat gun tool as well. Okay, fun stuff, fun stuff. Now I am going a little faster. I debated on prepping that earlier so that I had some ready, but I'm like, yeah, we got time. So we're just gonna grab our big shot, our big boss. I shouldn't call it the big shot because it's not the big shot anymore. It's the emboss and cut machine. And we're just gonna zoom out a bit so that I can fit this here underneath. And we're gonna grab the coordinating die, which is right here on the table because I had it with me. And we need our plates, our number 2s and 3s. And we're just gonna crank that in there. And I'm gonna go sideways so I have more space. Because if I go up and down, it'll just crash everywhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna line this up. So one we did with the blending brushes. So that's kind of like a dry. And then the other one we did with the oh, I put it on the wrong one. Let's see if I can switch it. There we go. I always have one cutting plate that gets worse than the other. And then the other one we did with water paint, like water painting with our paintbrushes. I can't speak today. I don't know why, but I am having problems. Okay, so that's one. And we'll get the other one. So that's one done. This one was the one that we brushed with, used the blending brushes with. There's that. And then we have this one, which we used water painters with. Okay. And like I said, you could add another layer on these. And we'll see. We'll see if we want to. Maybe I will, just so that you see what it's like when you use the dauber. Because, oh, I'll often use a dauber on the cone anyway. But anyway, there we go. So there's our two. So here's one that we used with the water, and you can tell the patterns are slightly different. and this one we use with just the blending brush. So this one you'll feel it's a little softer and wet, obviously. And then this one with the blending brush, a little more sturdier. So this one's a little more pliable, like it moves a lot more. Okay, so I'm just gonna move my embossing cut machine, the big guy behind me. And now we're gonna grab some scrap, very vanilla. So I find that very vanilla is a good option to use. You can also use crumb cake in comparison when you're trying to make your ice cream cones. But I thought I would use that. I think I did that here. So in Card Club, I'm using these ones here. I used crumb cake, and then you can see, and this one I use. Did I use a pecan pie? Maybe it is crumb cake. And then this one here I use the vanilla. So we're gonna use, and I really like the vanilla. And we're gonna use the vanilla with pecan pie. Oh my goodness, I have so many inks sitting here because these are all the inks that we use, what we're using for this month's card club. That is next week. So, um, where did it go? I had pecan pie sitting right here because I was using it, and now, oh, there it is. It's under my fresh freesia. I looked at it and then put it back. There it is. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some scrap here as well so I can stamp off, stamp on. And we're going to bring back our, our stamp set and get our ice cream cone out. Now, these are polymer stamps, so I like to just let it rest and lay flat. And then you can, so it just forms to its shape. But you could also bend polymer stamps into shapes that you want it. So if your sentiment is a straight line, you can also turn it into a curvy line if you wanted to. So I'm just using my big block. It's just easier. Now, it is pretty dark, but I'll show you. We'll do one with normal, like as in first generation stamp on. So here's first generation. See the darkness. And then I'm just gonna tap off, and then I would have used it as second generation, but I pushed quite hard. So I rocked on that one. And there's our other one, second generation. So let's just give you a closer view. You can see the intensity in both those colors. And it'll go a little lighter as well once it dries, right? So that's that way. Now you can take, let's say crumb cake, a lighter brown, and again, you can use your mini blending brushes, or you can take one of the fancy daubers, or in my case, these ones. Where is my crumb cake? Cherry espresso. What's this one? Not too sure what that one is. Okay, I didn't label that one. Okay, so you could just add this and then make sure you're good there. And off to the side, you can add a little bit of color where you want. So you could create the shading you could do with a pencil, like with a watercolored pencil, or again, a blending brush. So I'm just adding some texture to that because, just want to share some more techniques with you. And it gives it that look. Now, did I do that on any of the other ones? I did do it on some, but even here on my one card design, you can see it, how I've added that little shadowing going on this side. And obviously, the more you do, the more color you'll get on there. So really, it's up to you as to how dark you want to go and how much you want to put on there. So this one I did really dark to really emphasize it. And here I'm just doing it a little lighter just to give it some texture. Now, like I say, you can go in there too with your blending brush. And same thing, add that color in there as you see fit. I'll do it on both sides on this one. And then it gives it a whole different look from just being stamped per se. So it just brings these, I find it brings the stamp image a little bit more dimension to it rather than just straight stamped. Okay, so we have that. Now, like I said, you can also take a little bit of crumb cake and, or sorry, this, the, what do you call it? Soft sea foam, and do the same thing. Let's see, do I have a soft sea foam one? I do. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to add some ink there. And I'm just going to blot it around. Because what I'll do with this one is I'll cut it out with the detail die. Now, I am pushing it off to the side a bit because I don't want those blotches. And then I remembered, oh wait, this has got intricate lines in it. So it might not really matter that much. And just a little bit more. Now you could also even take your blending brush if you really want to and go over that some more. And you could also take your water painter and go over it. So really, there's so many options. And then I'll show you another trick. So I also did not have, did I leave it out? I did not have, oh there it is, any of the, any green ribbon. So I was like, what? How do I not have green ribbon? So I've got a spool of white, which is available in our combo packs. And you can take this white, and I took my, oops, I just dropped it on the floor. I took the dark, which one's this? Granny apple green, or you could use soft sea foam, but I thought the dark granny apple green was better. And using that tip end, you can color the ribbon or the twine. It's not really, yeah, it's twine, like so. So then we can use this to wrap around our cone. And I was like, oh no. So if you're ever out of ribbon or twine that you need for the color that you're looking for, just use your markers and color some white. So it's always really good to make sure you have that white on hand. So now you can see I'm just doing soft sea foam so you can see the color difference between the bright granny apple and the soft sea foam. Maybe, maybe not. Let's put it on white. So one side is darker than the other. So this one is obviously darker, and then you have the lighter on the other side, which is the soft sea foam. A little difficult to see on the camera, but if you do it yourself and you take like your different shades of reds, you can see the difference it makes when you color your ribbons and twine. So anyway, I'm just making sure I have enough, and we'll just let that dry. Okay, so let's just do a quick measurement. 8 inches is usually about what we need, and I think we're good. So I'm going to cut that off where I got all my coloring, and then I can save my white for the rest for later. There we go. So we'll let that dry. And then I'm going to die cut these two bad boys. So I won't, okay, maybe I did it once already, so why not do it again? So let's move everything out of the way a second time and bring in our boss buddy here. So we'll need the stems and this. Now, let's see if we can do two at once. Ha ha ha! Look at me, genius. So the die for the cones, am I high enough? I think so. Yep. So the die for the cones is a double cone because this actually folds over and turns into a tag. So the bonus of this is we actually can, I'm going to trim this down, can turn this into one pass. So we're going to line this one up, and I use these little nooks there, or the indents of the cone, as my guide, and that's one. So I have some reusable tape there. Oh, I trimmed it a little off, but that's okay. It's going to get hidden anyway. It's going to get hidden by the cone, so I'm not worried. Trim that off. Oh yeah, and we can use those for the straw if we want to use the straw. Or the candy, the chocolate. And then we have this one. So I'm just going to get another piece of tape. So what I love about this repositionable tape, obviously, is you use it over and over again before it tears. Once it tears through the machine, then you're like, okay, scrap, new piece. Okay, there we go. Dun, dun, dun. Do, 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 do. So there. Now we have two pieces we can do at once. And we can do our green at the same time, which is this one right here. So I'm going to trim that so that way we have space. Space on there. And that guy's good. And that one's good. Doesn't matter if you're not positioned straight. It's actually better to go through your boss machine at an angle. Does a better cut. And we'll just wheel that through. And get the, and I just got the bar caught in my shirt. Okay. There we go. Move the machine out of the way. And our two pieces. And our third piece there. And I'll get this out of the way as well. And I'm just going to put my pieces in my magnetic tin. Even though they're nice and big, they can go MIA. And I need to get that die out. And I just grab my take your pick tool and poke inside these holes so it pops out. And there we go. So it has a little bit of texture to it versus, hey, just cut it straight. You can see a little bit of that texture there. So it gives it a little more realistic feel. So you can do that with any color and all your stuff. Just gives it that. I find it just brings it to life versus just a quick stamp. Dun, 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 that's garbage. That's reusable. I keep as many pieces as I can because whenever we have retreat, whenever I host a retreat, I allow all my guests to use my scraps because I'll never get through them. Okay, so there's one, and here's one without. And then there's one and one with a little bit. So I'm going to switch them because that has this has a little more layers, and then this one's a little lighter. So there's our two ice cream cones. And it is literally mint chocolate for St. Patty's Day. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so to get these on, I just like to use my fine tip glue, and hopefully this is good to go. And a pair of my old school tweezers. These are so old. And grab it where I think it's safe. And then you could also use your silicone mat. I'm just going to grab it in case I drip glue. It's just hanging here on my board. And then I'm going to add my glue. So hopefully, oh yes, it's good to go. So this is great, these fine tip ones. Now, everyone's going to say, well, doesn't Stampin' Up! Sell fine tip glue? Yes, we do. But I do love my multi-purpose liquid glue. And it's not multi-purpose liquid glue from what I understand inside that. And I just find it a lot easier to stick my whole 2 ounces of liquid glue into this little white bottle, which, by the way, you can get off Amazon, or if you're ever at any of my in-person events, you can just purchase from me for like $1, $1 Canadian. Cheap, cheap. There we go. So I just buy them on bulk on Amazon because it's cheaper that way, and then make sure they're available for all my customers, all my Stampin' friends. Okay, so that is the only gluing there. Now I like to use dimensionals on these, so we'll bring these up, get our dimensionals, and there's one. So I'm just going to position it roughly because I don't want to go past, because it depends where that goes on my card front. But I wanted to share these fun techniques with you with using. So we've used a water painter, we've used blending brushes, and we used a dauber. Now, what other tool is there that I'm missing? There's our ice cream. So yes, he looks quite large, doesn't he? Oh, this one's a little off. I want to make sure on my left side that this is tucked in there good, because I don't want it hanging off if it's hanging off on my card, because I know my card base will be could be exposed on that side, and I don't want that. Okay, so there we go. So again, I'm going to try and keep that as tight as I can to the bottom. There we go. And that is our second ice cream cone. They're not going to be exactly the same heights, but they're pretty darn close. There you go. Now you could also add in a straw, or what is it called? I have one here actually, an extra candy. Let's see if I can still lift this up and tuck it underneath. What you also can do is create a slit and just have it sliding through there. And we'll just tuck that right there in behind, like so. Now I do have that showing, so I have to make sure that that's hidden when we put that on the card front. Okay, there you go. Ain't that fun? So let's grab some more shades of green. I'll just do one card. I kind of do I liked this one. The reason I liked this one, because this kind of reminded me of sprinkles. This one I love is because it's Lost Lagoon, and I love the ombre look of Lost Lagoon. But this one's a lot more bolder, and we can even make it pop more by adding more color if we want to the background. Now there's also our subtle in colors, which also comes with the dots, and I thought that looks pretty cool too. This should go really well with that, because more sprinkles. Or again, the checkered plate because of that. But I think the dots would be better because it's not as bold, and it doesn't, well, it is bold, but it doesn't clash with our ice cream cone. So let's do one in that, and we'll use it with, we'll just use it with this one. Why not? I'm not being picky or anything, but that's how we're going to make it roll. Okay. So I'll push my water out of the way so I don't knock it. And we're going to get this guy cleaned up so he's out of my way. Oy, I got a big nice mess over here going on beside me, and I don't know why I'm stretching to reach everything. So let's grab this, our wonderful chamois, and clean this off. Oh, I can hear that wind just howling. How's the weather in your area? It's been pretty windy these last couple of days, but yesterday definitely for sure was probably a lot windier. Put that there, and I'll just grab my stamp set and put that back. And then I think we are going to use Make-A-Wish, because I really like how that one sits on there with all the bold. Okay. Yes, isn't it lovely? Okay, let's make some more room again. So we're going to need our string. And these two pieces I kept because you can cut that straw out. Now, move our ice cream cones and our dimensionals. Bring in our paper trimmer again. And we're going to go at about 3 1/8. Just cut this guy first. Put all my scraps there. And we're going to go 5 3/8, or a quarter or an eighth smaller than your standard A2 card. Oh, that's pretty good. Then we'll keep this piece because we can use it again. And then, oh, we need a card base. I didn't prep any. My apologies. So we're going to grab one thick basic white. And we're going to cut that in half at 5 1/2. So we have our 2 card bases. Oh, I should have scored it first. Then we're going to score it at 4 1/4, like your standard card base. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take an inch off of the front. So here it is folded. So let's just assume this is the front. So we're just going to take an inch off. Or what you can do, if you prefer, is you could fold that back. But that's not what we're doing in this design. And this was actually inspired by, I think, Jennifer Cotton. I should have wrote her name down. And the design is, the pattern is hers that I copied and just twisted up the paper and everything else. But it's her design. So it's Jennifer Cotton. Like, you know, cotton balls like that. So in case you want to look her up. Okay, so I don't know how much ink I have left. Or ink. It's not ink. Glue. Holy Hannah. Can you believe how many errors in my grammar and technical terms I've said in here? Okay, yeah. Looks like I'm out. Okay, switch. Won't bore you with that one. I do have a tip though. I know there's ink in there because I can feel it. Ugh, I said it again. Glue. There's glue in there because I can feel it. So I usually take a very strong, like industrial, more utility knife, and I cut the plastic in half. So then I can take, and then I just have this dollar store paintbrush that I use. It's full of, it's icky, but it's icky because I use it to scoop out the extra glue. Actually, I have a couple in here in my trash. Here. So see, I cut this open and there's extra glue in there. And then I'm able to scrape the extra glue and use it again for, like, I swear, 6 other cards. And then you really get it empty. Let's see. I have one here. So I've gone through at least 2. I'm digging through the garbage, folks. And this one, I know I did. This one I've, like, completely emptied practically. Like, look how clean and pretty that is on the inside. So I've used a lot of that glue. No wasty, which is awesome. Okay. So I've used the lemon lime twist here. So why don't we grab that? Unless I want to use garden green. No, we'll use lemon lime twist. Let's see, or parakeet party. I think that's what that is. And as you're well aware, our colors, right? Our 2022 to 2024 is expiring. So Sweet Sorbet, Pretty Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis. There are stuff that's already unavailable. So even the refill inks. So we're going to grab some lime twist. Hi, Monica. Happy St. Patty's Day to you, too. Thank you for joining. Oh, not lemon lime twist, parakeet party. What am I saying? Oh, I've been like totally tongue-tied today. It's insane. Okay. So, we need 2 pieces, one for the inside and then one for our flap. So I'm just going to cut this again in half. And I actually have pieces prepped already, but just wanted to show you. Now, one of these I've noticed a little bit. Oh, I thought there was some damage, but there isn't. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these in half. So there's my 4 1/4. So I got my 2 bases. So now I have 2 bases. Now, one of these bases we're going to use as the flap, and the other base we're going to use as the inside. So we went really skinny. So we're going to go really skinny on this one and just go at 4 1/8. So just taking an eighth of a hair off there, and we're going to take an eighth off on the other one in the opposite direction, which is 5 3/8, or you can measure from this side and just literally take a 1/8 inch off. That little bit of hair right off there. Because then that gives us a really skinny mini on the inside. So it lines up. So when you glue this down, it lines up along your edges on both sides, on both colors. Now we need another piece, which is our flap. And I'm going to score this. Well, I'll score it later, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4 because it's too big. We don't want it that big. So about that. And then I'm going to score it at 3 inches. And 3 inches is going to be my front. Now I can trim this down some more, but I don't really care. It's just going to get hidden on the inside anyway. And that's where it's going to go. Oh, I think it's time for a new blade again. Going through lots of blades lately. Okay, so this gets glued and fixated here to create our flap. I'm really into flaps lately. And I just gotta clean up the edge on this. So another little tip is take your nail file, and if your edge is a little rough from either your paper exposed to rapid temperatures or your blade's dull. Usually it's the blade. But I used to have my craft supplies in our garage because that's where I had to craft, was in our garage. And I was like, why am I always getting fuzz? And that's when I realized that the cold in there was not good for my paper. And I had to change things up. But it's okay. I learned that the hard way. So just letting you know, your paper, if it does actually do that, don't always assume it's because your blade is dull. It could also be that, in my case, your paper is just too cold and it's causing that problem. Now, I'm just going to eyeball it on that center, on where I think it should go, like so. And then just push it up right against it and push down. And that's now hidden on the inside. And we got our flap. So it's your standard flap that you make all the time. There's nothing fancy here. You've probably seen it a million times and used it before yourselves. Now we're going to stick this on the inside at like 1/8. And I'm sorry, but I have to stand this up to see because I cannot. And I'm going to make sure. Oh, sticky. It's good adhesive when you know you can't get your fingers off of it. There we go. And now our flap here comes on the front side. There we go. Now we're going to take, now let's see if I cut that properly. Because I already had a piece prepped and ready to go. Oh, I didn't. So this is supposed to be, I thought it's supposed to be 3 inches. Where's my ruler? So this is 2 7/8. Yep, this is supposed to be 3. And, oh, I went to 3 1/4. Okay, so let's just cut off a 1/4 inch here. Because it's supposed to be at 3. Yep, it's a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch longer. So there's my 3 mark. And I'm going to line that up at the top there. And I should, looks a little crooked. So we'll see. Yeah, looks a little crooked to me. Won't use that as a marker. We'll use the score line as a marker. 3. There's one score. There's the other score. Because I already put it in here. Oh, it's like a hair. Let's grab that file and just clean that up because it's slightly crooked. There. Lots of lingo errors and one cutting error. So I took the painted textures embossing folder and prepped this ahead of time. This one, and ran it through. Oh, I'm driving everything into the garbage can beside me. And I thought that needed a little bit of a touch because I kept forgetting to do that. So in here, all I did was use a blending brush and took some Pool Party and colored the back of the white. So it wasn't so like blah. And then on my other card, I think I did the same thing, which I have seemed to misplaced somewhere here on my desk. So if you see it, just let me know. Yeah, it's somewhere here. I know. Oh, there it is. Found it. Oh yeah. So I used green on that one, but you can barely tell. So this time I remembered and I wanted to texture it. So there. So it's the same. I used to use this as well when I used to cut out my ice cream cones with the old set. Does anybody remember the old set? The sweet, I think it was Sweet Treats or something. Whereas this one's now Ice Cream Swirl. So yeah, I'm super excited to see the digital version of the catalog because I've seen so many cute sneak peeks by all the demonstrators that were on stage this weekend. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because I'm going to Hawaii. Tough choice, I know. So we're going to use the one with the straw. And see, he's a little too long, so we're going to tuck him in a bit. And, yep, we're good there. There you go. That one works great. So now I'm going to take my string that we colored, or twine. Just going to cut that in half. And we can use the other half for the other card. And I'm just going to wrap that around like so. I guess I shouldn't have cut it. There's a little bit of white there, but I don't really care. Okay, I cut it too much, so we're going to cheat. We are going to cheat, cheat, cheat. Show you my little trick here. So 1, 2, 3. That's good enough. And then I'm going to take our tear tape and pull off a wee bit and tape that one side and grab some more. And where's that other end? No, oh, there it is. That's already tucked nice. And that'll hold that in place. And then we can use our other half to then go in here. As you know, most of the time I tell you not to waste your ribbon or your twine along the back side, but this is like an inch wide, so I don't think we need to worry. I'm not going to fuss over that and cut little strips 1.5 inches wide. Okay, I'm trying to tie a bow, and because you're all watching me, I cannot tie a bow. Now, let's get in there. Come on, hand, get in there. There. Huh? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go get my bow maker if I can't get this. Come on. There we go. I think we got it. Yes, we got it. Yahoo! Okay, so there's our little bow. And I did not color all the way to the end, but that's okay because we're just cutting that off again. So like that. And we've got our green bow, our green twine that we didn't have. And we've got our ice cream cone. So I'm trying to decide if I should use this one or this one. Maybe this one's a little brighter. And that's going to go right about there. So we can use dimensionals again if we like to pop that up, or we could leave it flat. So I'm just moving this up a bit because I don't want anybody to see this hanging at the bottom of my card. So I want to make sure I'm okay. So it's not showing down here. So we'll grab some more. Oh, look, I'm out. Okay. Reach for my glue scissors and we're gonna cut this up. Yeah, I love it when I run. This is the best part. This is my favorite part of these dimensionals is the fact that we can sit there and use as much of it as we can. We use all of it, and it's like, oh, so feels so good when you use up a whole pack. Now this is already dimensioned, so we're probably gonna have to double up to get our heights right. So I'm gonna have to, that one needs to be doubled and this one needs to be doubled. Because here we've got double, so it's not gonna line up if we don't double up. Oops. There we go. It's gonna be uneven is the term I should really use. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over because I want to make sure I don't get that part showing. So it's right about there. Okay. Now I just need to make sure everything else lines up. Okay, I can go a little lower, I think. Let me see. Yep, I'm okay. And yep, that's straight. And this straw still needs to go in a little deeper. There we go. And we're good. Yep. You can see a little bit of that glue, so I'll just trim that little bit off. There. And there you have it. Now we just need the inside finished. So I had that little strip here. So I'm going to add that strip here just for fun. Because I just don't want to waste it. I could just easily take this and just throw it in the garbage. But why do that? Oh, we'll do the dots on the outside. We'll be matchy. Put that there. Line it up. And then just trim off that excess. And then we just need our inside. So we'll grab a card base for the inside. And I always have, oops. Wow, I'm dropping so many things today. I always have a piece ready to go. So this is your standard card base, but obviously this is smaller because we cut everything. Just putting all my tools back. So we're gonna go at 4. Wow. Okay, so it's supposed to be a lucky day, and so far it's been unlucky for me because I'm like dropping everything. My words are getting twisted. I spent most of the day cleaning the house and doing laundry because that's usually what my Sunday is. Cards were prepped yesterday, so I didn't have to worry about that. So everything was sweet. Dun, 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 like so. Okay, so now this goes here on the inside. And perfect. And we're just gonna pick a saying. So we can do, let's just be simple and do thanks. And then I'll put the word for everything. So on these two, I did the other two. So this one says, hope your day is sweet. And this one I use make a wish. So that's why I'm like saying, oh, let's change it up and let's just use thanks. So if we're going to use thanks, we're going to put for everything on the inside. And we use soft seafoam. And I'll grab Parakeet Party. Oh, I hope you're all laughing with me. And when you catch this replay, I hope you're giggling about it as well. Oh, here, look at how nice and pooled that one is. Whew. Must have been doing some fancy stamping on that one. Some fun water technique. Okay, so let's make sure it's the right way, but we didn't glue this down, so we're still good. So again, I don't even know if you can still get, what do you call it? Ink refills for Parakeet Party. There's one I know you can't get, but, so that's not very bright. So let's go with a darker one. I'm gonna go with, let's do Old Olive. So I'm gonna do tone on tone because I did it once already. And this is a fun part. Have you seen my other card where I've done it where I've taken dyes? Oh no, if you were at retreat, you would have gone that because at retreat I stamped 2 colors to create on words to create that fancy, to make it look like it was tone on tone or 2 different tones. So I'm going to try and do that here. But the problem is I did the light one first and I usually do the light one second. So I don't know if it'll work. Oh, it kind of did. Perfect. It actually worked really good. So I have 2 colors. So it looks like I shaded on the outside of the lettering. I don't know if you can see that very well. But it's a really fun way to, you just offset it by a hair. And stamp the same word twice, obviously, a second time in another color, and then it gives it that look. Now, oh yes, we are using our tape runner because I ran out of liquid glue. And like so. Don't need much, just, a quick slide on each corner because our our adhesive holds so well. There we go. And then we just need our sentiment that says thanks, and then on the inside it says for everything. Oh wait, I did want to chaos tape. We'll do it later. Thanks. So we can put that wherever we want. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap white, which I have here already. Just got to find the right width. Maybe, oh, I don't think that's thick enough. So I'll probably have to we'll use this one and trim it down. There we go. Thanks. Okay. So, you know what? We'll just add that little hint of color. I'm going to grab Sweet Sorbet, one of our other retiring ones. And I know I shouldn't because it's not green, but I just feel like I have to. So I'm breaking my green rule and adding thanks in Sweet Sorbet, which is also retiring. There we go. And that. Like so. And we're going to trim it down. Now, where is my mini trimmer? I noticed that it's not on the wall, which means, oh, there it is. Found it. It made its way to the floor. So I'm going to take this and trim it down. Oh, look at that. 1 3/4. Impressive. And I just want to trim just a hair off because I do want it lined up as best as we can, skinny as we can. Now, and go all the way to the top. And yes, my guard is not on my trimmer. If you're wondering, I took it off because it's always in my way. Safety first, but not in this case. Okay, so I'm just letting you know you should keep that trimmer on, or that safety guard on. But I prefer it off because it drives me bonkers and it's in my way when I want to do little things like this. Okay, so there's our thanks, and I think it would look, ew, it can go anywhere. Look at that, so many spots. This is the other reason I wanted to do it in red, is it pops more. I think we'll just put it right there. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. I kind of did that with all of them in a way. Okay, so we'll grab a mini glue dot first on one side. Make that stick really good. Probably out of time, aren't I? And we'll put that there at an angle. What's my time like? Oh my, I'm past. Okay, let's speed up here. We will not do a second card, but that's okay because you get the gist of it. And I already made two, and you already saw all the cards for next week. So what more is there? Ha ha ha. And if you're part of my team, don't worry. You get the tutorial for free anyway. That's my gift always to my team members because I can't, buy them free product all the time. So I always like to gift them with the things that I make so that it inspires them and hopefully can create with their stuff. Especially if they have, oh, oops, screwed that up. Have the same. Now, I made that too long. I thought I was going to make it too long. This is what happens when I yap while I'm actually working. And I cut it too long because it's gonna show. See? So I'll just come back with the glue and glue remover and get that off. Okay. So, oh, we need embellishment. It looks blah without them. So I picked these ones because there's chocolate in them. So these are the opaque faceted gems. And I picked it because it has that pecan in there to create our ice cream. So we're going to add a few on here. And we'll grab a big one. I'm just going to use a big one. And so it can fit there in my boo-boo, in my smeared chocolate cone. And then we can put, maybe 2 or 3 more over here. We could probably do, you're probably one. I'll probably do 3 right on the cone, to be honest, to add more chocolate chips. Making it look like there's more chocolate chips, which then means I have to move this guy. Who cares? There. I'm going to take another little one and put down here into this corner. So it kind of creates that trio. And then I'm going to add 2 more down in the bottom onto the other flap, if this guy will pop up. So then that way there's a couple on the other flap when you open it up. There we go. So thanks for everything. And you have that little fun fold there. And we have mint chocolate ice cream. So, and I'm going to fix this part here because it's not sticking very good. My mini glue dot or my dimensional is not touching the edge. So I'll fix that. But there's my cards. So these two are exactly the same in design. However, just using different designer series paper. So this third one shows you what I did there. And the fourth just shows you the different techniques of water painters versus blending brush versus daubers. So you can definitely use that. So that's 2 extra cards if you're part of my monthly stamp club this month. And then you'll get in the mail the materials like the designer series, but you'll have to do your own cutting and you'll have all the dies cut for you, but you'll have to use your own stamp. So these will all be cut for you if you don't have the stamp set. And then these 4. So that just gives you a nice rounded package that you get from me for participating in monthly card club and of course this. So if you've commented, don't forget to, oh, this guy fell off. Don't forget to like or comment, I should say comment and share my video. And on Monday at the end of the day, oh yeah, and I forgot. Oh, there is more, right? My little donut one. So then Monday at the end of the day, like, after supper, 6-ish, I will look and see who's all, commented or shared because I can see who shared. And I will then do a draw and post who wins, and you will be able to participate in my uh, latte collection class next in April. So I will be just waiting for the 20th, March 20th, so then I know what days I can work in April, and then I will tell you when those dates are. So stay tuned for more classes coming up and more online exclusives to share with you. Those of you, again, demonstrators, don't forget, we have our sneak peek of the annual catalog, so you can start making our wish list. Hi, Ashley. Thanks. I'm glad you liked them. I hope they were fun and inspirational. So enjoy the rest of your lucky day today and enjoy the week. And we will see you again soon and hopefully before next Sunday if I have time, but we'll be in touch. So happy stamping and thanks for joining me.